Hi, Dale. How's it going today?
It's going great.
Good. So what are we going to be planting today?
Well, this is a native azalea, and we're really fond of native azaleas here at the Dixon. And most people are familiar with the Asian azaleas, but this is a native one. So we're going to show you how to plant it. They're going to like good drainage. So we're going to mount it up a little bit. And also, if you notice in this pot, it's kind of growing crooked in the pot. So we're going to straighten that whenever we plant it.
Okay.
But I think this is a good spot. You like the spot?
I do like the spot. Good drainage, right?
All right.
You went down here?
And this is Kyle McLean. He's the manager of Grounds Horticulture here at the Dixon. So we got an all-star team here ready to plant this native azalea.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for being here, Kyle.
Glad to be here. We'll mark the spot right there.
X marks the spot, huh?
Just go off there.
All right, so how big does the hole need to be?
We're going to go at least 2 times the size of the container wide. Doesn't have to be really, really deep. The roots, most plant roots go wide.
Yeah.
They don't go as deep as we like to think. So we just give it a good root run.
Well, since this is a public garden, how do you decide where you're going to put your plant material?
You always have to think about design and where you can fit something in.
Okay.
I like to think about the color. This is a yellow native azalea blooming in the spring. So think about the color, think about the height.
Sure.
Native azaleas grow fairly slowly, but they'll get up to about maybe 10 feet tall.
Okay.
And so this will punctuate the end. And I'm probably going to put at its feet some Korean azaleas, which have a soft lavender color at its feet.
Okay.
All right, so I think that's pretty good.
That's good? Okay.
So in this case, I think we're going to go ahead and work our amendments in first. I think that's the best way to go, and we'll use a little red sand.
Okay.
A little red sand in here, make sure it gets in there. The red sand helps improve drainage, and it sticks around a lot longer than the organic material. Organic material will break up this heavy clay soil, but eventually the organic material will break down and it won't be contributing as much. So we use red sand at the Dixon. I've been using it in the Mid-South for my whole life, and it just is a great amendment for a heavy clay soil. Okay. And then this is composted pine bark, and we like the big chunky pine bark, not the nuggets, but just big chunky pine bark. You can use soil conditioner as well, which is just this product ground up finer, but it adds organic material, helps with the drainage, and will break down over time. Most of the nursery stock that you buy, like this plant is growing in, is a bark-based soil, so it's already starting with what you have. And then we're going to add in a little, this is the real fine stuff. This is worm castings, and we found a source on this, and we get it in tractor trailers. It's kind of a luxury to use here, and but you can buy it in bags. It is expensive at your independent garden centers. Right. Maybe the box stores will carry it, but worm castings, it starts out as peat moss, and then worms live in it. They feed the worms in it, and their excrement it goes into the peat moss, and you end up with a great product.
It's pretty good.
Grab this.
Okay, I'm gonna grab it.
Black.
All right.
So just add a little composted manure to kind of enrich it a little bit, and you're also helping feed the microbes and just help build the soil up. Put some organic matter.
So Dale and Cal, I noticed we put all of the amendments outside of the site. So
yeah, we want to make sure they're amalgamated really good together.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing.
All right.
And then I'm going to add a little bit of this mycorrhiza. This is the secret sauce. This is Kyle's secret sauce.
Secret sauce.
He's a big proponent of using mycorrhiza, and we've noticed a marked difference in how well plants get through stress times by using that. All right. So we're mixing it all together. We want it really well amalgamated. We don't want big pockets of compost. You definitely don't want it to be in a hole.
Right.
This is a sloped site. You want the water to drain away from it. So you want to kind of crown it.
Right. So we don't want to plant too deep, right?
As I mentioned, this one's growing crooked, so we can tilt the root ball and make it straight. And see how developed it is. That looks like a good side there. Look at it, I'll turn it. Does that look like a good side, Chris?
Oh, it does.
Okay,
It does.
perfect. All right. Some soil in around it.
So Dale, we don't need to break that root ball up any, or?
Well, I was looking at that. A lot of times when you buy azaleas, like at garden centers, they're really, really well root bound.
Yeah.
This one seems to be not as, see, it's not as well developed. It's not going to stay in a ball.
Yeah.
The idea is that the roots in the container hit the edge of the container and they keep running around in circles and they get kind of root bound. Yeah. And sometimes on regular azaleas, we'll actually take a soil knife to them and really break them up. But this plant here, the roots are pretty loose.
Yeah, that's good.
This is really the huge commercial nurseries really don't grow a lot of native azaleas because they're slow. So usually it's more small, independent, like mom and pop kind of operations. The root system isn't kind of full and it hadn't been cut back a whole lot. But this is a great plant. We love native azaleas here at the Dixon.
So can you talk a little bit about the air pockets and what you're doing there?
Yeah, you don't want air pockets underneath there. It's more important when you're planting bigger stuff because the water will help settle it in when you give it its first watering. But you don't want any air pockets under there. That's a no-no. That's the main consideration when planting something like this. And see, it is mounded up, but that's fine. Yeah. That's what we want. And then if we can grab that rake over there, Kyle, I'll rake this thing out. Again, we want it to drain away. You can see it's higher in the middle.
Yeah.
Everything's draining away. And so in terms of air pockets, that first watering is critical to eliminate air pockets and just to get it off on a good start. So I don't recommend irrigation systems, even though you might have an irrigation system. It may be easier just to go push a button and turn on the irrigation, but you're not getting the thorough watering that you need to do. I recommend that you use like a water breaker on the end of a hose, or you can stick your finger in there. Yeah. Some people do that, right? But just give it a good soaking, back off for a minute, let it soak in, then give it some more. And when you think you've watered it enough, water it just a little bit more and you're good. So give it off to a good start. And then you need to watch it during its first season. That first summer is the critical point to get it through. Once it's got its roots in the native soil, yeah, you'll be fine.
Okay. Let me ask you about this. So I'm noticing this is kind of crossing over a little bit. So do you actually look at it and come back and maybe prune it off? Or?
Yeah, I think, this branch here actually, let's see if that's green. It still has life in it. We're gonna let this thing leaf out the rest of the way and see what happens. And you should come back and we can do a segment on pruning azaleas.
That'll be good. With Kyle, Dale, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.